Walking into the barn with your collection bucket in hand and finding empty nesting boxes delivers a heavy blow to any producer. That silence in the cages and the lack of production hit your morale and your pocketbook hard. You have no doubt asked yourself the question that keeps all us farmers awake at night. Why did my quails stop laying eggs? It creates massive frustration to watch your invested time, feed, and sweat go to waste while the birds choose to shut down the factory. But that uncertainty ends today. In this video, we step right into the mud to break down the exact issues stalling your flock and how to fix them at the root. I will share pure, hands-on experience cutting straight to the chase so you can see those cartons overflowing with premium-grade eggs again, apply preventative health strategies for your birds, and get your operations profitability back on track starting this very week. Let's begin. Number 1. Nature's master switch, lack of adequate lighting. The reproductive system of a Japanese quail operates like a biological solar clock. These birds need a minimum of 14 to 16 hours of daily daylight to keep their laying powerhouse running. When the days shorten in winter, or if you place the cages in a dark corner of the barn, the bird's brain interprets that it is time to rest and shuts down production to save energy. This is no biological whim. It acts as a survival mechanism and a natural strategy of their immune system to protect valuable reserves during times of scarcity and cold. The practical solution on the farm demands direct action, rigorous execution, and constant discipline. You must install a supplemental artificial lighting system in your setup. A couple of warm light LED bulbs connected to an inexpensive timer will do the heavy lifting for you without excuses. Set the timer to extend daylight hours into the evening or turn on early in the morning, always completing those exact 16 hours of light. Avoid flipping the switches by hand on an irregular schedule. Sudden shifts in their routine scare the flock and cut the laying cycle short right on the spot. Number 2. The engine of constant hydration, lack of fresh and clean water. A quail egg consists mostly of pure water. If the water supply in your farm fails for just a few hours, or if the drinkers get dirty and the water heats up under the sun rays, the birds stop drinking altogether. A dehydrated quail enters a state of emergency, prioritizing basic vital functions and halting the formation of the shell and yolk. When managing your pens, underestimating access to water is the most expensive mistake you can make as a producer. To protect your egg production, make sure you use nipple drinkers or automatic cups that keep the vital liquid free of droppings, feathers, and commercial feed dust. Inspect the pipes and tanks every day to prevent sudden blockages caused by mineral buildup or slime. On scorching days, change the water in manual reservoirs at least twice a day. Fresh water invites the bird to consume more dry feed, and that vigorous intake translates straight into overflowing egg cartons. Number 3. The high-octane fuel, protein deficiency in the commercial diet. Quails have highly accelerated metabolisms and demand a feed that supports that frantic pace. Unlike your average backyard poultry, a laying quail requires a ration formulated with a steady protein level hovering around 20 to 24%. If you try to cut costs by mixing too much cracked corn, whole sorghum, or vegetable kitchen scraps, you dilute the essential amino acids. The bird feels full, but its body lacks the building blocks needed to assemble a daily egg with the right nutritional density. My firm recommendation as an experienced farmer is to never cut corners on feed quality. Always look for a pelleted or fine mash formula designed for quails in peak production, or failing that, a game bird or turkey starter ration. If you spot a sudden drop in overall performance, add a short-term supplement with a bit of fish meal or dried black soldier fly larvae to give the flock a strong protein boost. Always make sure the daily nutritional base remains balanced and highly digestible. Number 4. The barn's fear radar, environmental stress and predators. Quails are small birds, and natural selection designed them to live on high alert. If a dog barks loud near the cages, if a cat prowls on the tin roof, or if rodents share their feeder, the stress level spikes. Constant fear elevates cortisol levels, which shuts down the natural ovulation cycle. A bird feeling its life is in danger never lays an egg, as its vital energy focuses on pure survival. Your absolute duty as the flock's bodyguard is to turn the breeding area into a secure fortress. Use tight-woven wire mesh to stop rats, weasels, or snakes from getting inside. Secure the doors with heavy latches and restrict all pet access to the production zone. If the barn faces heavy foot traffic, cover the sides of the lower cages with tarps to create a dark, quiet environment. The quail needs to feel sheltered to do its job without disturbances. Number 5. The thermal trap of extreme weather, sweltering heat or bitter cold. Even though Japanese quails are incredibly hardy, they are highly sensitive to extreme temperature spikes. If the thermometer inside your facilities climbs above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, the birds start panting and stop eating their ration. On the flip side, if they face freezing drafts in the dead of winter, they burn their calories just trying to maintain their own body heat. In both survival scenarios, the reproductive tract becomes the first system the body shuts down. To stabilize the internal temperature, you need to manage ventilation like a pro. In hot climates, rig up high-density shade cloths over the roofs, improve air circulation by opening the side windows, and offer cool water to dissipate the bird's internal heat. In areas with intense cold, block the icy wind gusts using thick plastic curtains. Make sure you do not seal the barn tight enough to trap toxic gases. A stable thermal environment guarantees a strong and predictable laying curve. Number 6. The fractured mineral vault, severe deficiency of bioavailable calcium. Manufacturing a perfect shell every single day demands a massive drain of mineral reserves from the bird's body. If your flock's diet lacks the optimal level of bioavailable calcium, the first warning signs appear as fragile eggs with very thin or soft shells. As days go by, to avoid severe decalcification, the quail's body shuts the valves and halts production. This creates a structural failure advancing in silence across your farm until your collection numbers hit rock bottom. The straightforward solution is to offer an extra, free-choice calcium source in the pens. Get your hands on crushed oyster shell or limestone and place it in a separate container, making sure you never mix the mineral straight into the main feed ration. This prevents throwing off the balance of the food. The bird's wild instinct is so sharp that it consumes only the exact portion of calcium its body needs to harden the shell. This simple practice locks in their long-term bone health and secures a tough carton for your customers. Number 7. The invisible chokehold in the pens. Toxic ammonia gas buildup. Quails live just a few inches from the wire floor, breathing the stale air flowing straight from the dropping trays below. When facility ventilation fails, manure ferments and releases corrosive ammonia vapors into the environment. This caustic gas burns their delicate respiratory membranes, plunging the birds into a state of asphyxiation that shuts down any laying instinct. A bird fighting for breath never channels its energy into reproductive output, as its entire biological focus shifts to mere survival. Impeccable management demands removing the manure with iron discipline and securing a constant airflow across the entire barn. You must use lateral extraction fans to ensure the internal atmosphere stays fresh, clean, and completely free of dangerous vapors, keeping the flock's temperament calm and their hardiness strong during sweltering summer afternoons. This atmospheric crisis shatters your feed conversion efficiency and pulls your daily collection numbers down incredibly fast. The bird loses its appetite, drastically reducing its intake of that vital 24% protein mash required to sustain high-yield production. To counter this, the most effective management strategy requires sprinkling agricultural lime over the wet droppings to neutralize toxic odors right at their chemical source. Applying these preventative health measures and keeping a pathogen-free airspace secures the long-term vitality of the flock. Watching for signs of heavy panting, abnormal nasal discharge, or general apathy acts as your definitive health alert. Ignoring these early red flags always precedes an irreversible collapse in your monthly egg production curve, costing you significant profit margins. Number 8. The silent drain by invaders. Severe internal and external parasite infestation. Our facilities operate as a living, breathing ecosystem where mites, lice, and worms constantly search for a vulnerable host to thrive. When a quail suffers an attack from these relentless parasites, its natural hardiness breaks down fast. The bird grows visibly restless, spending endless hours pecking at its own feathers trying to relieve the deep, agonizing itch. This state of severe irritation drains their vitality, stealing the crucial metabolic energy originally meant for the ovaries. Your barn design must allow for a rigorous, frequent inspection of dark corners, wooden joints, and floor meshes. These hidden spots act as the preferred breeding grounds where microscopic invaders stalk the flock at night, multiplying at a relentless speed if you fail to act early and decisively. The impact of parasites hits your collection data hard, bringing severe production drops in a matter of just a few days. Nematodes in the digestive tract hijack the nutrients from your standard feed. They block the absorption of essential amino acids and cause misshapen eggs that weigh less than half an ounce. Your standard preventative protocol includes rotating broad-spectrum dewormers in the drinking water, as well as applying generous layers of diatomaceous earth in their dust-bathing boxes. Keeping your birds totally free of these blood-sucking invaders is a crucial step to build a robust, highly active laying flock. It directly protects your feed conversion ratio, and it guarantees predictable, heavy yields inside the metal cages throughout the entire breeding season. Number 9. The natural biological decline. Aging of the breeding flock. Unlike larger backyard poultry, quails run on an incredibly accelerated metabolism that makes them mature fast and reach their productive twilight at breakneck speed. Crossing the 10-month mark, their internal biological clock begins to slow down noticeably. The flock's once vibrant temperament turns lethargic, and their overall capacity to withstand sudden weather shifts drops significantly. Even with the absolute best facility comfort and top-tier nutrition, the ovaries of an aging bird simply lose the biological ability to release follicles on a strict daily schedule. Clinging blindly to birds that have long passed their peak performance phase is a massive management error that takes a heavy toll on your daily cash flow and wastes premium space inside your meticulously designed pens. During this terminal phase, you will notice your collection data change in unexpected and frustrating ways. The eggs might reach a heavier weight, but the laying frequency becomes highly erratic. The aging digestive tract loses its ability to assimilate calcium from their regular ration, resulting in extremely porous shells that break under the slightest pressure during collection. The most effective management strategy requires scheduling a constant, systematic rotation of your breeding groups. You must continually introduce young, vigorous genetic stock to maintain a high laying percentage year-round. Consistently working on continuous genetic selection allows you to extend this profitability window, guaranteeing a strong replacement generation equipped with an optimal feed conversion ratio. Number 10. The territorial suffocation of the pen. Extreme overcrowding in the cages. Packing too many birds into a tight space under the illusion of boosting your total collection volume creates one of the most dangerous traps in modern poultry management. Quails absolutely need a clearly defined territory to eat, drink, and rest without feeling constantly threatened by their neighbors. When you exceed the maximum density limit, dominant birds monopolize the vital resources, aggressively chase down the weaker ones, and trigger violent pecking episodes. This territorial chaos spikes corticosteroids in their blood, shutting down the reproductive system almost immediately. Smart facility management demands strict, unwavering respect for the exact square footage demanded per individual. It also guarantees free access to all basic survival supplies, regardless of the season or the flock size. Overcrowding violently crashes the conversion efficiency of your expensive pelleted feed. Feed waste increases exponentially, and unequal access to fresh water causes subclinical dehydration across the lower ranks of the flock hierarchy. Egg collection plummets, and the few eggs you do manage to recover often show fresh blood spots, losing all their value for the premium commercial market. Health alerts trigger fast, as open wounds from aggressive pecking act as a direct, dangerous doorway for severe bacterial infections. Keeping your groups spacious and well-distributed serves as the most effective life insurance policy to maximize your yearly egg pounds and profit margins without ever risking the physical integrity and social balance of the flock. Number 11. The collapse by sudden transition. Abrupt alterations in management or routine. Laying birds are creatures of habit that find absolute safety and comfort in the constant, predictable repetition of their daily routine. If you decide to change the physical design of your automatic waterers or alter the established lighting schedule without warning, you will cause a deep psychological shock to the flock. Facing the unknown, the bird instinctively interprets the novelty as a direct threat to its survival, enters a sudden state of panic, and stops egg formation right then and there. An experienced farmer understands perfectly that any modification to the facility's infrastructure must happen at a strictly methodical, gradual pace. You must proactively minimize both visual and acoustic disturbances to keep the flock producing at its maximum genetic potential. The most frequent operational mistake happens when you change the physical texture or the specific brand of your commercial balanced feed without warning. The quail's highly sensitive digestive tract adapts to a specific matrix of ingredients, and a harsh switch instantly alters the delicate intestinal bacterial flora, causing the birds to outright refuse the food. To maintain your flock's performance, the dietary transition must happen gradually over several consecutive days, slowly mixing the old ration with the new one. This vital preventative precaution stops the fragile immune system from wearing down under stress. It strongly protects the intestinal lining and ensures that protein assimilation keeps flowing without costly, agonizing interruptions in your daily egg collection curve. Number 12. The silent pathogenic erosion. Subclinical viral or bacterial diseases. Even when you see no obvious physical signs of an out-of-control plague, a low-level pathogenic load can circulate quietly and persistently through the aisles of your barn. Mild respiratory infections or chronic bacterial issues force the immune system to divert all the bird's metabolic energy toward its internal defense, instead of directing it toward the demanding egg-laying process. In this deceptive subclinical state, the quail maintains a relatively normal outward appearance, but its active temperament dulls and its overall vitality fades over time. Absolute protection of the farm requires creating an impenetrable biosecurity fortress at every entrance. You must strictly control rodent access, completely restrict wild birds, and disinfect the facilities to maintain a pristine, secure environment. When a bird's body continuously fights a silent internal infection, systemic inflammation heavily damages the oviduct's mechanical ability to secrete calcium carbonate with the correct structural density. The direct, visible result in your daily collection is a massive surge in misshapen, soft-shelled eggs. These compromise both your final product quality and your professional reputation. In this context, preventative health strategies mark the ultimate difference between long-term success and rapid financial failure. Adding stabilized probiotics or organic acidifiers to their daily drinking water strengthens the gut lining, significantly boosting their natural resistance to dietary variations. Ultimately, strict daily vigilance guarantees that your birds operate at their maximum productive capacity without missing a single valuable day in the laying cycle. Mastering constant, heavy production in the cages comes as the direct result of keen observation and relentless daily management. We have carefully broken down the exact biological factors that freeze your bird's laying cycle on the farm. By fixing your ventilation, wiping out parasitic threats early, strictly managing floor space, and reinforcing your preventative health defenses, you will transform an unstable barn into a high-efficiency powerhouse. The reality on the ground demands that, as a seasoned producer, you keep your guard up and apply these crucial corrections right now. Bring the vigor and profitability back to your setups, securing a solid, predictable egg output all season long. Let me know down in the comments which of these options makes the most sense for your setup. If you got some value out of this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up so we can keep bringing you practical poultry advice. To your success, fellow breeder. Until next time.